We reflect on political parties, politicians and candidates that had high activity and presence on social media. It's almost hard to imagine that you can do a political campaign in 2021 without being on social media. But to unpack it all for us is media specialist Sthembiso Sithole. He joins me now in studio. Sthembiso, great to have you on the program. And yeah, I know that you are strong on this platform, the social media thing. And I just wonder, let's have a look, first of all, at maybe the political parties that have been on social media, how they've used them. Take us through that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peter. Exciting times, right? We're only a few days ahead to the local government elections, and we have seen, like we've previously said, that a lot of political parties have been engaging on social media, trying to get voters. But now, just going to go through to some of the political parties, a few that have strong social media followers, and all of that. As you can see, the African National Congress, of course, they started a Twitter account on the 2009, and basically, this is a Twitter account. You can see the number of followers that they have. It's 1 million followers, right? And basically, then we move into the other party. That's the Democratic Alliance. They have, of course, 6,600 followers there. And you can see they are verified. They've started the Twitter account in 2019 as well. And we can move into another one. And this is the party that is new, right? Which is Action SA. Started literally last year. They have this 36K followers. You can see the description. They're appealing to the voters to really vote for them. Another big player, of course, is the EFF, which has 1.5 million followers. And literally, they are sending their message across. And then, of course, another party there is the IFP, which literally has over 9,000 followers. So these are some of the political parties today that we'll be looking in terms of who they are, when did they join Twitter, as we're focusing on Twitter, and most importantly, what content do they have? Because it's very important to have a content that resonates with the voters.
All right, before we get on to the next bit, what I want us to interrogate, because these parties have got different amounts of followers, and we're just looking at Twitter at the moment, isn't it? And people use different platforms. But today we're focusing on Twitter.
Yes, Peter.
Does it mean anything that the EFF has got 1.5 million followers and the ANC has 1 million and the DA only 600,000? Does it mean anything?
Not really. That doesn't translate in terms of the voters, right? Because the key question is who has access to Twitter. We still know that Facebook is still large in the country. Does that mean that those who are on Twitter, if the EFF has 1.5 followers, does that mean those are the people who will vote for the party? It could be that those are just general people who like the party, who may be associated with certain figures, or just want to follow up on that, but that doesn't really necessarily translate to the votes yet.
All right. Well, let's go back to Twitter then, and let's now look at the content and what they put on their social media pages. We saw what they had in terms of their landing pages on their profiles, but what sort of things were they posting? And they've only got 140 characters, so interesting to kind of get a sense of the messaging that was coming through.
Definitely, and you can see the top part there is they pin the tweet. So on Twitter, when you pin the tweet, basically that's the first thing that you want to see. And here, this was on the ANC. It was a video of the ANC president, and you can see they are detailing when they will be going to the polls. And of course, the content that they have, it's video, of which Twitter is, full of visuals. And then, of course, the next party, that's the IFP, similar. Like the ANC, also they have a video element, and you can see the number of views that they have there at the bottom, and they're appealing to the voters in terms of what is it that they're doing, and you can see they shot that content on the streets there in KZN, or basically just to appeal in different parts of the country. And then another content that they have is the Democratic Alliance. It's so interesting, Peter, that all of them, they chose to be on the road, right? And you can see the party there, they're talking about they're talking about what it is that they'll do, and also, most importantly, talking about the votes and urging audiences, the voters rather, where to go in terms of the website. So that's the kind of content that they had. And then, of course, another party is the the Action SA. So to all the new South Africans on our timeline, they are simply saying they're contesting 6 municipalities, and they aim in 2014 to go for more. So that's the kind of content that they had.
So I guess this pinned tweet really is the most important, because that one sits there throughout. Other tweets come and disappear. But that one should be the one telling you what the party is about, what they want us to think about their party, isn't it? That's how important that message is.
Yes, definitely, because remember on Twitter, I mean, it's a fast-paced platform, so you just want to get those people who can quickly go there, spend time, and really make them to be eager to stay more on that feed.
All right, so we know Donald Trump used Twitter a lot. In fact, he bypassed media a lot, and a lot of people were quite excited by this. Have our leaders been engaging on social media and taking up, much like Donald Trump did in the United States? What was the scenario that played out here?
That's really interesting when you make a comparison, to Donald Trump and South African political leaders. I think they understand the audience is different. You know, you can't just, say whatever you want to say, because there's a sense of you'll be held responsible. But theirs, of course, this time around was just to appealing to voters, you can see. Amosi Maimane, of course, we all know that he was active on Twitter. We do not vote based on fear. We do not vote based on empty promises. And then he goes on to appeal to the voters. He understands the language, and basically what is it that, of course, people want to hear. And then we can move to another political leader, DA leader. Here he's capitalizing, talking about the Nelson Mandela Bay, and also actually indicating that it's all in the hands of the residents, meaning basically it's him saying we've done what we could as the party, therefore, it's in your hands. So
did they have pinned tweets as well, or these ones were rolling much more?
So they did, some other political leaders, they do, and then because of this one, it's one of those that they had.
All right.
We can move on the next one. And then you can see the EFF leader, Julius Malema, is pinned. That's the one that you see. And you understand, Peter, as we are heading closer to the elections, some political parties, of course, we know the IEC has sort of like a deadline in terms of when they should stop campaigning. But here, basically, he's simply thanking his followers in terms of that. What that means, the question is, would that really translate to the votes? All
right, this is fascinating. And I suppose also the videos and the pictures tell 1,000 words as well, because you've only got 140 characters on Twitter. So media, such as pictures and videos, become critically important in assisting, isn't it?
Without a doubt, because social media is all about visuals, people want to know, and it's really like a journey. When you wake up in the morning, most political leaders, they were sharing their threads. I'm up in the morning, this is where I am, I'm in Soweto, I'm in Hammanskraal, and sharing a story, and visuals really play a critical role, and we look forward to seeing that as you head to the poll on Monday.
All right, so I know that there are rules about campaigning and election day and so on and so forth, but social media, I suppose, is fair game. What sort of things do you think we're likely to see on election day and the days after on these Twitter pages?
Yeah, I was at The Rock from yesterday, and what I expect is political leaders, of course, panicking, if things are not translating, and of course those who will be lodging their complaints if there are issues that they have when it comes to the elections, and maybe the last push, it's still not clear. Of course, the IEC is working closely with the Media Monitoring Africa to monitor, social media issues, but does that mean they will stop campaigning those political parties? What I'm expecting is more engagement and really updating their prospective electorates in terms of what is that's happening on the ground.
I'm going to make comparisons again to Donald Trump, because his Twitter account was hugely influential. it was quite a thing, a force of nature. And I just wonder if it's the same here. Do you think that, when the CIC tweets something, does that mobilize? Do you get a sense that people are called to action by social media, sometimes a bit more than an ad on television or an interview on radio? What's been your sense about how powerful social media has been in these elections?
I think, one, the political leaders that we've seen, and of course today the focus that we had on, they know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, and also how to hook audiences and the media to really engage with them. We've seen the likes of EFF leader Julius Malema. They started a hashtag on Fridays, and even the ANC, and of course the DA. So they use that platform to call mass mobilization, and also the use of hashtags. So you realize there are those who follow that. Of course, those will be the supporters, and others, of course, will criticize what they do in terms of that. So it's one of those things where there is that mass mobilization, one would say, only on Twitter.
All right, you work with us quite a lot, and I see that you're very busy and you've got a strategy. Is there a science to social media and tweeting and using social media to get to where you want to go? I mean, is there specific strategies about you need 5 tweets an hour, 3 tweets a day, whatever it is?
Yeah.
How does it work?
There is. I think what we are seeing with these political parties is a proper content plan and literally looking into what it is that they want to say, how it would look like. And then, of course, that content plan actually guides in terms of when and how we will be getting our people, in terms of them to know. You'll understand that not everyone is able to go to that particular rally. Therefore, having a solid social media content plan helps to attract those who, of course, will be able to attend in person or not. And we've seen some political parties capitalizing on making sure that they stream their events live.
Wow. Okay. So these are going to be interesting times this week. I'm sure lots of pictures. I know that it's not legal to take a picture of you in the voting booth and who you voted for, but I suspect some people are probably going to be naughty, aren't they?
Definitely. I think what they should say, don't bring your cell phone
inside.
In the polling stations, one would say.
Sthembiso, I'm looking forward to more conversations as the election process unfolds, and just to get a sense of how social media is reacting and predicting, because a lot of people are making up their minds already, but it'll be interesting. Thank you so much for taking us through this.
Thank you so much, Peter. Have a great one.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Good.
All right, so that's Sthembiso Sithole, who's one of our social media gurus here at the SABC, and we'll be chatting to him quite a bit over the next week or so to see how social media is translating the events that are playing out, the elections starting November. In fact, starting this weekend with the special votes. We mustn't forget that. They're very important dates as well.